In this video, Daily Race A, I decide to go for a spin. In Daily Race B, Huggy decides to go for a spin. And in Daily Race C, well, Shelty, well, he decides to go for a spin. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025 week 22, and tuners, you can rejoice because they've given you a daily race just for you, and it's in the background right now. It's that Suzuki carry at Tokyo Center Clockwise. Now we're doing 5 laps here. DR updates are off. It's a grid start on comfort medium tires, and as you can see at the bottom, 350 pp or less. As you guys know though, I do not like tuning races because I just feel there's no real good way to calculate a car's performance, and I feel like this is the same, and you'll see that in this race. Now, if you don't like tuning races either, there's some timestamps there to jump to Daily Race B or C, respectively. However, we are going to do Daily Race A just to have a look at it. Now, in terms of the key statistics, then, we've used this track 6 times, believe it or not. The last time we used this was on the 10th of February, 2025, so quite recently. And as I put there, the main issue that I will always say is that tuning will equal less racing all of the time, because unless you know what you're doing, you're going to be at the back of the pack. Without further ado then, let's jump into this daily race. Let's have a look at exactly what happens, and I'll explain a little bit in this one because I'm not going to do a lap guide for one reason only. Right, what that reason is, I will explain it shortly. First up, here's the grid. We've only got 10 cars. Somebody left as they joined the lobby. I'm not sure if they tuned it or not. So now I've put traction control on 1 here for the start. There is no penalty check, so foot to the floor here, and off we go. I do love the fact we've got all sorts of different Suzuki carries here. This is well played by Gran Turismo. However, the tuning is going to come into play very quickly. I want you to focus on that rear view mirror right now because we're accelerating away a full stop, and look at this. We've got Tidgney on the left, we've got Mario Sonic on the right, flying by here. And this is where my frustrations come in with the PP system straight off the bat, because if we're all running 350 PP, which we're all very close to it, shouldn't these be performing very closely? But they clearly not. We'll continue with the race all the same here as we go into this right-hander. A lot of this is just lifting off. So when I talk about not doing a lap guide, the reason for that is because the performance of some of these cars is going to be so different. The brake markers are going to be so different that some of these markers would be absolutely useless if you've got a completely different setup. So there really is no point here. Just look for some obvious markers like yellow signs and stuff like that. Lift off mostly in this one, and you should be absolutely fine. Now, I do hit the wall there, which is not good here. The Italian there going on the right-hand side here as we go through this right-hander. Now, one thing to mention with this, even with a setup, your car's going to get very oversteery very quickly with this one, with the weight transfer. As you see right there, I go for a bit of a spin. Now, you don't see me do that too often, do you? We're going to advance to lap number 3 then, where up ahead we are casual to Blue Racer, who's had a spin already. No, it went in the pits, got a penalty as we continue on here. The Italian has gone into the pits, obviously giving up there as we continue into this right-hander. So we're not going to come last at least, because the Italian is in the pits. As we go through here, though, look in the distance, we've got Blue Racer going for that spin that I knew happened at some point. There we go, so we're up into P8 then in terms of this race. If you do have a look, though, on the right-hand side, top right-hand of the map there, we have a yellow flag up ahead as Mario Sonic's gone for a spin. The racing is just stretched. Nobody's really racing anybody, to be honest, with this one. We are on the final lap, though, as we go through this final quarter. And as I say, tuning does mean less racing. I know some of you tuners love the tuning side of it, so have fun this week because that race is definitely for you. It's not for me, though, this one. One thing to mention, do not put that high lift camshaft S on. It's I don't know, the PP's bugged on it or something. I've given it 5 out of 10. However, as I say, I don't think there's that much racing. You can see it feels spread there. It's just massive. It really is massive. So the PP system not working again. We're going to jump into a race where there is much more racing here due to the slipstream, arguably. And we're at a Daily Race B in Group 4 at Big Willow Springs. 7 laps here, rolling start, racing hard tyre, and you can adjust that brake balance. Now, for those that did the time trial a few weeks ago here at Big Willow, we have had a balance and performance change. However, the Alfa Romeo is still very much looking like the top gun here. Now, we've only used this track twice, believe it or not, and we last used it on the 6th of February 2023, 2 years ago now. It is hard to overtake here, and if you do go off, you are going off for a mile, so it's literally death of your race, and that's why I've put that right there in terms of the issues. I say the Alfa Romeo 4C is definitely looking like the king of Big Willows. Without further ado, let's jump into this race and let's have a look exactly what happens and how many deaths actually happen here in this race. Here we are then at the start of this one. The 4C on pole with Ice Taylor, Kentish Gent in the NSX, and you win in the McGann Trophy, a car I nearly picked myself. Now, if you are enjoying this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. But without further ado, we'll kick off this race with Lady Tidge giving us a wave in the background there. And that is becoming a meme very quickly. I had no idea that happened. It was only in editing that I spotted that, and I had a bit of a giggle to myself. So through the left we go, in towards the right. You can see it's just normal at the moment because we're all looking to catch up to each other because the leader can't get breakaway. So we're all catching the leader with this slipstream that exists on Daily Race B, which is particularly strong, and it's going to just be worse in Group 4 than it ever has been, just due to the fact the cars have much less power. We've got towards the end of lap 1 then. Through the final corner we're going. In the distance, we've already got one car off into the desert there, and they've gone. I think that was Sparks Theory there. We are up into P11 then as we continue through turn 1 and head... Oh, hello, somebody else has gone. Going for the jump there. Who was that? That looks like it was Ice Taylor. So the P1 starter, their pole position starter, actually going towards the back of the pack. We'll have a look at some of these in the bloopers, of course. We're up into P10 now, and you can see the field is getting closer and closer together here. 2.5 seconds now from the lead, and we're in P10 right now. Hoggy there just going off the circuit, comes back on very nicely. You can check out them on YouTube, of course, as we continue on through here. Ugandan Commando up ahead as well as we go into this left-hander. I'm going for that cut as we go through the left-hander. Ugandan Commando goes off the circuit here, coming back on the circuit. Going to understay a little bit, but fortunately we avoid them there. In the distance, we've got another car off towards our right-hand side. Deaths absolutely everywhere. That's Kentish Gent going off there. I mean, Kentish Gent started, what, P2, I think, in this one? So everybody who started towards the front is going off the circuit here, and we're now up into P8. We're still behind Blue Racer here as we head towards Turn 1. We're looking around the outside to serve around a bit of an issue there as we continue on through here then, and we're still on the inside, so we could have an advantage as we go into this long right-hander. Now this right-hander continues on for days right now. Hoggy's over towards the left-hand side. Just carried a bit too much speed. We're going to be on the inside of Hoggy then as we continue on through here. So we get a 2-for-1 on that right-hander. Unusual to see, but mate, we'll take that as we go into the left-hander now. And we can see the lead here. We're 2 seconds off the lead now in P6 as we go into this right-hander. So we've got every chance of a race victory right now. 7 laps for this race is very good, I must say. Well played to Gran Turismo here in terms of the lap counter. It is a good amount of laps as we head towards turn number 1 then. Going to go on the brakes. Unfortunately, we go into the back of Shadow there. That was a mistake on my part. Wasn't expecting them to brake so much there, but I believe they slowed down because of Norman on the inside defending that as well. So completely on me, that one, as we continue in this race. And lap number 4 right now. And look at Shadow on the inside of that Genesis. This Alfa handles so well. It really does. As we continue on through here then, we're going to head towards this left-hander. I'm going to try around the outside right now. Very difficult to do there, but we're looking to carry the speed. No, we can't get it quite done there, and Norman maintains position for now. So as we go into this right-hander, we're now 1 second off the lead. Literally, we are fighting for the lead right now as we look for a go for a move on Norman. Doesn't quite work. Blue Race goes on the outside of me then for this left-hander, maintaining that run around the outside as well. This is a fantastic move by Blue Racer. Gets the job done. We're down to P7 right now as we continue on to what I would argue is the back straight. I'm not quite sure, but when I was marking it for bloopers, I call it the back straight. Up ahead, Norman's looking to get the inside of that McGann trophy. It doesn't quite work out here, but we are still in this fight for this race victory right now, with Shelty leading the way in a Peugeot RCZ. As we send it down inside of Blue Racer then, do we get it done? Yes, we do. Look at this. What a move as we go through here. Slight tap from behind. It just forces onto the curb a little bit, and Hoggy behind then goes even more wide there. Oh, spins round. Hoggy is gone. That's another victim here at Big Willow. Now Sammy Snake getting in on the action, gets the position here. We're down to P8. We send it down the inside then. Do we get this move done? It looks like we do. We give room on the outside there. So we're back up into P7. It's an insane race. It's a good race, but the custom slip is sort of making it a bit extreme in terms of how close this race actually is. We've got Mario Sola in a Scirocco then currently in the lead. Shelty down to P2 right now. We advance to the end of lap number 5 for this long right-hander. What's going to happen now? Norman's still here in the Genesis as well as we continue through here. Looking to maintain the speed. Do we do that? Yes, we do. Blue Racer's gone off the circuit then. Does Blue Racer come back on? Yes, indeed. We've got the run on Norman as well. Norman's defending that inside line. We're on the outside right now. We're going to start the penultimate lap here. Lap number 6. Up ahead there, still fighting as well. We're going to try and send it round the outside. This corner's cambered, so it can help potentially. And we do get it done there. Oh, I enjoyed that one. Well played, Tidge. Well, if I do say so myself. Anyway, give myself praise there as we go through this right-hander. Now, we're still in the fight for the victory. You can see the fight up ahead. Shadow's very much in the mix here. We've got 4 different cars there as we continue on through. So arguably the slipstream's helping more cars be in this mix then as we head towards this left-hander there. Marisola on the left. We've got Ewan on the right-hand side looking to carry that momentum through this right-hander. Can we get the job done is the question. Ewan's on our inside right now as we accelerate through this corner. Ewan gives me some room on the outside. I appreciate that, Ewan. As we head towards left-hander, it's going to be the inside for me. And we are up another place then, up into P4. We are in this fight for this victory right now as we continue on in terms of the lap then. So this is the final lap right now. Shelty's in the lead in that RCZ. So actually the FF's doing quite well here as we go through this left-hander. So Shadow's looking to get by that RCZ. I'm looking to get by the Scirocco. So I went for an outside line here to try and get the move done. Doesn't quite work out here. Who we've got on our inside? We've got Jack Garcia on our inside now as we head down towards this left-hander. Jack absolutely demolished us in race A. Well, race B here not quite working out then as we continue on through then. We are still in P4 and up ahead. They're breaking away from me right now. I'm not really in the slipstream. I'm not going to have any impact here on this final result. But look up ahead. They are 3 wide. They head towards the line. It's a drag race here. And Mario Solo looks like he's going to get there. Who comes P2? Shadow just 1,000th of a second there between Shadow and Shelty. What a fantastic finish to this race. Now, I've given this race a 7.5 out of 10. You can check out all the details down below in a pinned comment once it eventually goes there, of course. Sometimes I do miss it. But there's a lot of racing here. There really is. Now, let me tell you how to do a lap here. You can follow this lap as well on the leaderboard. Plus 5 brake balance. As we head towards turn 1, you got these 2 last sort of pillars here that hold the catch fence. You want to brake in the middle of these and you're going to drop to 4th gear. Now, you want to maintain at least 100 miles an hour. Really try and push the car through this corner. It's cambered as well, remember? And that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to hit the brakes and then drop... well, I'm down into 4th gear. Notice how much speed I carry there. I actually only went to 101. 100 is my target, so I maintain high speed than normal. We're going to turn into this one. I'm in 5th gear. Now, I'm going to drop to 4th gear eventually here. And notice how I'm adjusting the throttle. Now, what I'm looking for is that radio tower in the distance. That's my accelerating marker. Now, we used to, in Group 4, wait till it was at the center of the screen. Arguably, now, you really just want to start accelerating the second you see it because this car's going to keep turning right. Because it's got less power, the front's not lifting as much, the car grips more, and it just goes around the corner. Look at this. We're flat out right now. Absolutely maintaining that speed. Absolutely revved the nuts out of this car as well. 7,500 RPM is what you're aiming for here. If you can see that on the old bumper, you can't see that on any others, so you're going to have to adjust accordingly. But the 50 board is your brake marker. I'm braking just before the 50 board here. As you can see, it's on the right side there. And I want to trail brake a little bit into this corner. I also want to maintain some speed on exit here. So as I come into here, I'm going to instantly start accelerating. And the car's just going to want to turn. I lift off a little bit there just to allow the front to turn a little bit more. As we go through this right-hander, the end of the curb on the right side is my lift-off marker. Now, arguably, you actually want to brake a little bit further on in this corner. So I lift off. I'm going to dab the brakes a little bit later on, and then this car should rotate very nicely. Let's have a look at that now. Dab the brakes there, and then I can start accelerating and just keep the foot to the floor. It will stick. It will turn. Just believe in the car. As we go through here, you don't have to cut this corner because it will cause some oversteer. I do because I'm trying to get on the leaderboard, so you've got a ghost to follow. The end of the curve there is your brake mark. I'm braking before I get to that. So when I talk about some brake markers, it's brake distance. So I'm braking before I get to the end of it. I want to brake in a straight line initially, then release the brakes, let the car turn in, maintain 80 miles an hour. If you can, I maintained 81 miles an hour. So I know I'm on a good lap right now as we continue on through here. And you can see my lap times on the right hand side actually there. So it's flat out here, maintaining a very inside line. And of course, we've got the Toyota building on the left-hand side. But because we've got less power now, it's not what we're using. I use the 150 board. I'm braking just after that leaves the edge of my screen. Now, you might want to drop to 4th gear initially in this corner to get a bit of rotation. I'm pretty sure I stay in 5th gear now just because it's a bit more stable. And then I maintain a bit more speed because the engine braking in 4th gear is just a bit too much. So 5th gear is what I'm trying to do here. Notice that I went down just below 120 as I continue on through here. I'm going to clip the left-hand side of the gravel. Be careful doing that because it can spear you off towards the right-hand side, as you'll see in the bloopers. That is a 118.3 then. You can follow that one on the leaderboard. We jump to Daily Race C then, where we're at Suzuka. Of course, we are. We're normally here every other week. And we are in Group 3 machinery, as you can see in the background. Doing 10 laps here to rolling start. Racing soft and hard tyres. Both are required. Some extremes then in terms of tyres there, including the tyre wear ×5. You can adjust the brake balance, as always, in Group 3. And I chose that BMW M6 right there because it's a very good handling car. We've used this track 24 times. It is in the top 10 used combos in terms of track and car combo, as it's currently 3rd. And we last used it on the 24th of March, 2025. There are tyre extremes here just due to the fact that we've got soft and hards. And it is hard to overtake in Sector 1 here. So all your overtaking is going to be in the second half of the lap. So you really have to prepare for that. Without further ado then, let's jump into this race and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then with this final race. We've got Mario Sonic starting a pole in the Lexus. Sonic chose the RCZ. We've got McLaren in P3. A mixture of cars here. Now, if you're enjoying this, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. Why is there a mixture of cars at Suzuka? Well, it is quite a balanced circuit for a lot of cars. If you remember my Group 3 car profile test, they were all extremely close here, minus a couple. So in the grand scheme of it, pick what you enjoy. So we go through turn 1 here. I'm starting on the racing hard tyres. Remember, I have to use the soft compound as well at some point. But with that extreme tyre wear, I just wanted to really get far into this race. We're going to head towards Tidgney 1 here then. Up ahead, we see some smoke here then. And somebody is already off the circuit. Unfortunately, that is Shelty going off in that Volkswagen Beetle. We'll have a look at why that happened in the bloopers, of course. Continue towards the hairpin then. Here, I'm in a sandwich of McLarens then. I make up the meat content while they make up the bread on the outside right now. Now, Blue Racer's just gone a little bit wide there, but comes back on very nicely, and we're going to stick behind that McLaren. So we advance a bit further on in lap 1. We've got Ugandan Commando with a 5-second penalty, I suspect. That's due to the incident with Shelty, but once again, we'll have a look at that one in the bloopers. As we continue on through here, we get a massive run of Blue Racer. Shadow is off in the distance as well as we go hard on the brakes now then. Looking around the outside here at the chicane, very hard to do here as we go through this left-hander. We've got to give some space on that inside. And look on our rearview mirror there, slight tap with Sammy. That's nothing major here, but Sammy was going for that opportunistic move there with the gap on the inside opening up then. And look how fast this McLaren actually is in a straight line as well. It is extremely quick. I can see why it is being used right now. We're going to go in towards turn number 1, nearly to the back of Sammy Snake there, but I managed to slow the car down just enough here as we continue on through. And you can see the cars once again really clumping up together due to this slipstream at the moment. The reduced power is actually making this slipstream more powerful each and every time. As we go into this left-hander then, we look to slow the car down. Nearly went into the back of the McLaren there again as well as we continue on towards Tidgney 1 here then, looking to slow it down in a train of cars right now. Remember, I said you can't really overtake in sector 1. That is very much the truth here as we continue on through here though. Up ahead, wind's gone off the circuit there in the Renault RS01, and that is unfortunately a crash. Once again, we'll have a look at that one in the bloopers as we go into this left-hander then. Slow it down nicely. You're going to exit out the corner. Sammy Snake with a huge moment there on the exit then in that McLaren. We do get a run here, but that McLaren picks up speed very quickly indeed, so I can't really go anywhere right now as we head towards Spoon Corner then. We have got a bit of breathing room behind us as we go into here then. We sort of looking on the inside. That did force Sammy into braking a bit later than they wanted, so we get on the inside finally then. As we continue on through here, back up into P9 we go then as we accelerate out of there. Now what we'll do there is we notice some flashing lights. I zoomed in on that just so you'd spot that. So that tells me that Sammy Snakes wants to work together to catch up to the field. So we advance a lap later then, and that's exactly what we've done here. So I'll lift off a little bit here to try and set up for a move as we continue on through here then. Blue Racer goes towards that left-hand side, so I'm looking down the right here, but I don't really have the move done there. Someone up ahead has blocked the brakes or done something there that looks like it's Ewan. Similar looking livery to the previous race. As we continue out of this corner then, they're side by side up ahead, Shadow and Norman. Norman in that AMG GT3, Shadow of course in the Alfa Romeo 4C as usual as we head towards turn 1. Blue Racers bump drafting Shadow then to get on by and get that move done. In fact, the BMW ahead of them all as we continue on through here. And I literally get my nose on the inside of Norman. Thank you very much, mate. I will look at taking that position as we continue on out there. Norman's still there on my inside. Got to be careful. And we do get that position eventually then. Some good racing so far, but again, it's very tricky to do here. We're just all clumped up at the moment on the hard compound tyre. Sparks very Sonic, Marisonic, all on the soft compound tyre. They're accelerating away at the moment, those top three. But here we go with a bit of bump drafting on Shadow right now as we head towards 130R. I'll just back out this a little bit. I recommend you do this as well. Shadow got very close to Blue Racer. Unfortunately, for some understeer there. Manages to catch it though, really well caught. And we do gain another spot then. So up into P7 we go. So we're still in a fight here right now. Amongst the front runners, I can't even speak right now, runners, as I'm not sure why I would say that, in terms of hard runners there. I will get my words out eventually. Blue Racer's got past you in here. We're looking on the inside of you, and this is lap number 5 then. As we continue on through here, and this is BMW versus BMW right now. Shadow right behind me there as we continue on out of here. So we saw smoke come in on lap number 4 in terms of the previous lap, and now I think that's a bit too early in my opinion, but we'll see how that goes. It could be very much car dependent. The higher the tyre multiplier, the very much more car dependent it becomes. So when looking at this race, if you are in an MR car, you might be able to go a bit longer. Now, we're going to head towards the Casio Triangle here, and we're still behind you, and then goes a bit deep there. And now we're looking at strategy. So we've got Sparks, Fury, Sonic, both coming in a lap number 5 there on the softer compound tyre. Mario Sonic's just come in on the harder compound tyre there. I'm surprised Mario Sonic was actually on the harder compound there. I thought Mario Sonic was on the softer compound tyre, but even so, we continue on through here. Then this is lap number 6, so this is the lap I decide to come in the pits then. As does Blue Racer as well, as a few more behind me here, and we are going to change to that softer compound of tyre right now. Of course, with this strategy, it does mean I'm going to lose some time to those that pit in the previous lap. And as we come out here, look at this. We've got one car going by. We've got another car going by. Shadow goes by there as well. Ugandan Commando on my left-hand side here. And the server decides to have a moment there, which forces Ewan off. I'm not sure whether it caused the issue with Ugandan Commando there as well. But we are in P8 right now. Up ahead, Blue Racers on the inside of Win then as we go through turn number 1. Once again, the server has a moment at the wrong time. And Win then is the victim of this one as we continue on through here. So I'm now up into P7 due to that incident as we go into the S's. Now we are closing very quickly on some of the harder runners now. They were on the soft earlier on as we continue on through this right-hander then as we head towards the hairpin here. We're going to look on the inside of Shadow, who is a softer runner now, but unfortunately we can't get the move done there. They've of course got 1 lap older tires, but I'd argue with the MR cards it will start to bounce out very quickly. And when we talk about tyre wear, our focus is mainly on the front tyres because that's what makes the car turn in these corners. Lap number 9 now, Tidgney 2 coming up. Sonic up ahead, we know is on the harder compound of tyre as we go through here. Blue Racers had the advantage, got on the inside. Shadow now looking on the inside of Sonic as well. As we go into here, we're looking on the outside. Is it going to work though? There's a small clash there. And who's it? Savage State getting involved here as well. Look at this on the exit. Everyone absolutely everywhere. And this is the problem with this race a little bit with a soft versus harder compound of tyre. There's such a drastic difference in pace that it can cause crashes absolutely everywhere in terms of braking zones, etc. They are massive difference in terms of the tyre, which does mean undercuts can work out really well if you can get out of the traffic. We do get past Sonic then, and we are up into P7. Win now looking to get by as well. Win does get by as we advance towards the final lap, and the hairpin once again up ahead. Look at this action going on here. We've got Blue Racer and Mario Sonic involved there. Huggy's in this one as well as we continue on out of there then. Small contact there, Savage State, nothing major there. That's just the case of the track narrowing up as we continue on towards Spooner. It really is kicking off here. It does mean with this hard versus soft, you do have sort of like a crescendo in terms of the end of the race where all the strategies come together here. Mario Sonic there being left out to hang and dry. Now, I thought Mario Sonic was on the harder compound tyre right now, but arguably it was on the soft to the hard as we continue on through here. Then maybe the softs have just run out on Mario Sonic there due to the earlier pit stop. If so, we carry on towards 130R here. We turn in, trying to carry as much speed as we can. We can see all the action going on up ahead right now as we go onto the brakes. And where's everyone going? Huggy's trying to defend for his life here. Everyone goes out wide here. It gives me sort of an outside run on the chicane. And look at this, we get 1 position. We're actually going to get 2 there at the end. I thoroughly enjoyed that move because it was opportunistic and then I placed my car very well. Big thank you to Blue Racer and Savage Slake as well for giving me the room there on the exit. Very hard to do that when you're in the thick of the action. But we do finish that race in P4 then. So again, this is 7.5 out of 10. You can check out all the details down below. I do not really like this hard versus soft. I do like the idea of the strategy though. I just wish it was medium and hards and stuff like that. Even so, we're going to kick off here with the lap guide then here at Suzuka. So looking for the 50 board or the end of the pit lane line on the right-hand side, okay? Now, the reason for this is that now the cars have a bit less power. We can actually carry a bit more speed into the corners because we're not carrying as much speed into there. So we're going to brake it just after they leave the screen now, and then we're going to trail brake all the way through here. Notice we're not hitting 100%. We're trail braking all the way down. We're going to short shift to 3rd gear in this BMW. It just to stop some oversteer on the exit. As we turn into these then, we're going to lift off. We're going to clip the curb. You notice right now, we dabbed the brakes a little bit here. I just felt I needed to in the M6. You don't have to here. So once again, I lift off. I dab the brakes. But if you're going to actually dab the brakes in any part of these, use the start the curb that I've pointed out right here. Now, you always brake for this corner. And I'm looking to carry 80 miles an hour through this corner. So the start the curb there is my marker. I'm just dabbing the brakes a little bit. It's not 100% on the brakes. You need to make sure you don't go 100% on the brakes now. And I'm trying to just let the car carry its speed. So 80 mile an hour maintained. Happy days. In towards the left, we lift off a little bit, try and get the car turned in. Once we clip the curb, we accelerate through this corner. We nearly go off the circuit, but we managed to survive them as we head towards Tidgney 1. For Tidgney 1, on the right side, we have the lamppost there. The final lamppost on the right side is my brake marker for Tidgney 1. Third gear, fourth gear in the BMW. I wasn't sure. I think I do fourth gear on this particular lap, but I was switching between the two as I was doing the practice beforehand. So we're going to hit the brakes here, and we're looking to carry over 100 miles an hour through there. Look at that lovely stuff. And on the left-hand side, we have the Marshall tent. That is our brake marker for Tidgney 2. I often find braking earlier for Tidgney 2 is actually better, because at the moment you brake too late here, you just have to overturn the car. It just causes loads of issues on the exit. You really don't want to. So brake earlier for Tidgney 2 if you can using that tent. So we clip the inside here, accelerating out in third gear. Just be careful about using that much exit there, because it can get slippy very quickly. Going to continue to the hairpin. On the left hand side, we have the Dunlop sign. I've highlighted it right there. That is your brake marker for the hairpin. I don't know why, but on this particular version that we've done this week, this hairpin seems very much more harder and a bit more understeery than normal. I'm not sure why that is the case, but it just feels that way. So just be careful when you come into here of understeer. So we try and get around this corner as quick as we can. Instantly on the throttle there. Try and straighten up and then carry on through the gears. We can then get a bit comfortable now. Now we've done the complex part of the lap, we've just got a couple of corners to go really that we really need to focus on. First up is Spoon, and we're going to use our normal brake marker for this. What is our normal brake marker? Well, it's that escape road there on the right hand side. Now you want to take this as a wider line as you can to really come across Spoon. Okay, so double apex corner essentially. So we're going to hit the brakes, we're going to drop a gear, and then we want to clip the curb and then accelerate through the corner, and that is what I'm going to demonstrate right now. So we hit the brakes, drop to third gear, we clip the curb. Instantly get on the power then, we go onto the curb, and then we're trying to come off the curb before the end of it, okay? That marker there is to signify you need to be off this curb by that point. If you're not, you're spinning. You're spinning, or you're going to get very lucky with a catch. So we're hitting the brakes right now, we're trying to get off, we drop the second gear here, trying to get the rotation in the car to bring the car back. So we're going to go up to third gear once again just to maintain some stability on exit rather than getting some power oversteer. But head towards 130R then, and for this corner, just a turning marker really, it's the 50 board, okay? Just turn in using that marker. Now, with the change of bop, you can arguably do this corner flat in a lot of cars, even more so on the softer compounded tyre. So I'm going to look to cut quite a lot of the inside and maintain flat out. I don't think I do. I think I get scared a little bit maybe. No, I do it flat out. Happy days. I know I got scared initially when I was doing that because I was like, oh, I'm not going to make it. But believe and it will work. For the final corner then, on the right side, we've got the yellow line there, the opening of the old pit lane. So that is my brake marker for this final corner. Brake early for this one. If you brake too late, you're just going to compromise the exit and lose loads of time. It might feel like better, but it definitely isn't. We're going to cut all of the inside there. We go to second gear here, and we continue on out of here. Just being careful of any bumps that will cause some oversteer there. Keep towards the inside then to finish the lap then, and that is a 58.024, and you can follow that one on the leaderboard. We go to the bloopers then when we're on board. Blue Racer in the Race Asylum Suzuki carry then as we go through this right-hander. We're just going to see that oversteer again. I talked about it earlier on in my particular perspective there as I go on by, and Blue Racer suffered the same fate there. So we're on board Sparks. What happened to Sparks then? Through the final corner we go here on Daily Race B as we exit them. Oh, we clip the gravel, or dirt should I say, or the desert, and we go for a journey. Lucky reset though, spawns in back earlier than expected, which is very helpful. Ice Taylor then, turn number one. In we go. Small tag there. Ewan couldn't have done anything with that one. Just a bit of overturning there from Ice Taylor. Comes back on the circuit and, continues to lose the car and goes on a bit of a journey. Surprisingly, though, this isn't a track reset, which, as I say, is more like a cut than anything. But even so, the game did not reset Ice Taylor right there. So Kentish Gent then, you can check them out on YouTube here as we go through this left-hander. What's gonna happen then? So as we go into this right, oh yes. So I bet Kentish Gent was on bumper cam, didn't realise the right-hander was quite there, just missed the turn slightly, went wide, hits the gravel and goes towards the right-hand side. Oh, the desert, I keep calling it gravel, it's sand. We're gonna go on board Huggy then, so we were a part of this incident. So as I go on the inside here, Blue Race is just going to tap me a little bit there, which is forcing me onto the curb, forcing me out wide. Again, this is just a racing incident more than anything, and Huggy is the unfortunate victim of that racing incident as he goes for a spin on the old start-finish straight. At least the pit crews there get a bit of a show. Steady race here, we've got Shelty heading towards Tidgney 1, hard on the brakes into the back of Huggy slightly there, and then I think that's just a bit of a Constantina effect there where everyone just closes up. Let's have a look at Wynn's perspective here then. As we go into here, clash. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that Ugandan Commando shouldn't have got a 5-second penalty for that either. I think that's a bit unfair. We're on board wind on the very next lap here. So this is Tidgney 2. We did see wind that spears off to the right. What's the reason for that? Oh, clips the gravel. And that's what I talked about in the lap guide there. It gets very slippy very quickly on the exit. You do have to be careful. And that was unfortunate for wind. So there's me. So this is Ugandan Commando as we go through here. And you can just see the service there have a bit of an issue. And then Ewan and Ugandan Commando go off. They probably thought we hit them, but we definitely didn't there. So similar situation. This was lap number 8. Blue Racer on the inside. Let's have a look at this. And as we go through here, again, just movements of the car. That actually wasn't on any individual. That was unfortunate. Well held there by wind. Now you just saw there the like, subscribe graphic. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you do that. Two videos there to check out as always, and make sure you check out my partners down below. Fanatec have sent me a surprise gift, and we'll have a look at that shortly. GT Amiga as well. Use code Tidgney at checkout. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.